The day my friend Ben and I decided to explore the abandoned building atop the hill felt like the beginning of a grand adventure. The sun was setting, casting a warm glow over our small town, and the air was thick with the promise of mystery and excitement. The rumors surrounding the building had always intrigued us, stories of its haunted past, strange noises in the night, and even glimpses of shadowy figures peering from its cracked windows. Most kids in our town avoided it, quickening their pace whenever they walked by, but that only fueled our curiosity. We were different. We weren't afraid. We were brave. At least, that's what we told ourselves. As we gathered our supplies for the evening, the thrill of the unknown coursed through me. The plan was simple. We would document our exploration with an old camcorder I found in my dad's attic, and we'd take along our phones for backup footage and a tape recorder to capture sounds we might miss in the moment. We were going to uncover the secrets of the building that no one else dared to explore. We had a lot to prepare. I rode my bike to Ben's house, and as I approached, I could see him standing in front of his garage, backpack slung over one shoulder, a glint of mischief in his eyes. "Ready for this?" he asked, a smile playing at the corners of his mouth. I nodded, excitement bubbling up inside me. "Let's do it," I said, and with that, we pedaled our way up the hill, the tires of our bikes crunching over the gravel path. The journey to the hilltop felt exhilarating. We talked about all the things we would find and the stories we would tell afterward. The world around us blurred into a backdrop as our imaginations took over. The hill loomed ahead, and as we reached the top, we paused for a moment to catch our breath. The view was stunning, with our small town sprawled out beneath us, bathed in the warm hues of dusk. It was the perfect moment, one that would soon be overshadowed by what lay ahead. As we stood before the old building, the reality of our adventure began to sink in. The house was imposing, its weathered facade a stark reminder of the stories that had circulated for years. The windows were boarded up, and the front door was locked tight. A shiver ran down my spine as I took it all in. "This place is even creepier than I imagined," I admitted. Ben laughed, his usual bravado shining through. "Come on, we're just getting started." We approached the front door, our hearts racing in sync. We knocked tentatively, half expecting a ghostly figure to answer. The sound echoed through the silence, but no one came. I felt a wave of anxiety wash over me, and I closed my eyes for a moment, trying to steady my breathing. Anxiety had always been my nemesis, lurking in the shadows of my mind, ready to pounce when I least expected it. Just then, I felt a jolt as Ben shook my shoulder. I opened my eyes to find him laughing, the tension breaking like a fragile thread. "You should see your face." "Quit messing around," I replied, a hint of irritation creeping into my voice. "We need to be serious about this." Ben took a deep breath, his demeanor shifting to match mine. Okay. Let's check the back." We crept around to the back of the house, our footsteps cautious as we moved through the overgrown grass. The atmosphere felt heavy, thick with anticipation and dread. As we rounded the corner, I felt a rustle in the leaves behind us. My heart jumped into my throat, and I turned to see Ben jump back, eyes wide. "What was that?" he whispered, his voice trembling slightly. I squinted into the shadows, but it was just a raccoon, scuttling away into the night. "Just a raccoon, man." "Relax," I said, chuckling at how easily we had scared ourselves. After some laughter and a brief moment to regain our composure, we continued toward the back door. I reached for the doorknob, the metal cold against my palm. With a firm twist, the door creaked open, revealing a dark, musty interior. My stomach tightened with apprehension as I took a cautious step inside. I turned on my flashlight, the beam cutting through the darkness. My heart raced as I scanned the room, searching for signs of life or evidence of whatever had once inhabited this place. The air was stale and filled with the scent of decay. Dust motes danced in the flashlight's beam, creating an ethereal atmosphere that made my skin crawl. Old furniture lay scattered about, shrouded in sheets that had long since yellowed with age. I noticed the remnants of a family, a tattered couch, a broken coffee table, and a stack of books piled haphazardly on the floor. "This place is a time capsule," I murmured, almost to myself. We moved cautiously through the first floor, each creak of the floorboards amplifying the silence around us. I shone my flashlight on the walls, revealing peeling wallpaper adorned with faded floral patterns. It was clear that this house had been neglected for years, yet it held onto its secrets with a tenacity that intrigued us. I stumbled upon a door leading to the basement. "We should check down there," I suggested, a mix of excitement and dread coursing through my veins. Ben hesitated, glancing at the darkened stairway. "I don't know, man. What if there's something down there?" I shrugged, trying to dismiss my own apprehension. "We're already here, right? Let's see what we can find." We descended the stairs cautiously, the wooden steps groaning beneath our weight. As we reached the bottom, I flicked on the light switch, and the weak bulb flickered to life, casting a dim glow across the room. The basement was cluttered with old boxes and furniture covered in dust. It looked as though it hadn't been touched in decades. I scanned the space, searching for anything of interest. "This is boring," I said, a little disappointed. "I thought we'd find something cooler down here." Just then, my foot hit something solid on the ground, and I nearly lost my balance. Ben reached out to steady me, his eyes wide with curiosity. "What was that?" he asked, peering down at the object. I glanced at the ground and saw a handle protruding from the concrete. It looked out of place, and my heart raced with excitement. "Check this out!" I exclaimed, bending down to examine it. "There's a door here." Ben leaned closer, his brow furrowed. "What do you think it leads to?" I shrugged, my imagination running wild. Only one way to find out. We rummaged through our backpacks, and Ben pulled out a pair of chain cutters he had brought along. "Let's see if we can open it." With careful precision, I cut through the metal chain securing the handle. The chain clinked to the floor, and with both hands, I pulled on the handle. It creaked open, revealing a dark passageway that sent a chill down my spine. The air that wafted up was musty and thick, filled with an odor I couldn't quite place. "Are you sure we should go down there?" Ben asked, his voice trembling. "Come on, man. We came all this way." "We have to check it out," I insisted. He hesitated for a moment, but eventually nodded in agreement. We climbed down the stairs, and with each step, I felt a growing sense of unease. The darkness enveloped us, and my flashlight beam danced against the walls, illuminating strange symbols carved into the concrete. My heart raced as we descended deeper, the staircase winding into the unknown. After what felt like an eternity, we finally reached the bottom. The room was vast, its walls obscured by shadows. My flashlight flickered over strange substances on the ground, thick, black goo that clung to our shoes. "What is this stuff?" Ben asked, his face twisted in disgust. "I don't know, but we should be careful," I warned, glancing around the room. The air felt charged, as if something was lurking just out of sight. "Let's stick together." As we navigated the room, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were not alone. The silence pressed in on us, and I thought I heard faint noises echoing from the darkness. My imagination ran wild as I scanned the shadows, half expecting something to leap out at us. "Did you hear that?" I whispered, my voice barely above a murmur. Ben nodded, his eyes wide with fear. We continued moving forward, finally reaching the far end of the room. My heart sank as I looked into the distance, where an exit appeared to be beckoning us. But as we stepped closer, I noticed something strange. The walls were pure white, devoid of any detail or texture. It was as if we had crossed into another world. "What is this place?" Ben breathed, his voice barely above a whisper. I shrugged, feeling a knot tighten in my stomach. "I don't know, but we should be careful." Just then, I noticed something moving at my feet. "Wait! Look out!" Before I could react, Ben suddenly sank down, as if the ground had opened up beneath him. "Help! I can't feel anything," he shouted, panic creeping into his voice. I rushed forward, grabbing his hand, but it felt as if he was being pulled downward by an unseen force. "Don't let go," he cried, his eyes wide with fear. "I'm slipping." I fought against the pull, my heart racing. "I won't. Just hold on." But despite my best efforts, I felt the grip of whatever lay beneath us tightening, dragging him further down. "Please." "I can't." His voice trailed off as I was forced to let go, watching in horror as he vanished into the void. I stumbled back, my heart pounding in my chest as the reality of what had just happened hit me like a freight train. "No!" "Ben!" I shouted, my voice echoing through the vast emptiness. The fear that had been creeping in suddenly exploded, filling my mind with dread. I was all alone, trapped in a strange world that seemed intent on devouring me. Panic surged through me as I turned to flee. I rushed back toward the entrance, the oppressive darkness closing in around me. But as I ran, I realized with horror that the path I had taken was gone. The staircase had vanished, leaving me with no way out. I pressed my back against the wall, breathing heavily as the weight of my situation settled over me like a heavy blanket. The darkness felt alive, creeping closer, pressing against me with a suffocating grip. I could hear faint whispers in the air, and dread filled my chest. I was not just afraid, I was terrified. "Ben!" I shouted again, desperation fueling my voice. "Where are you?" But all that answered was silence, and the whispers grew louder, echoing around me in a haunting symphony. I felt a chill run down my spine as I sensed something watching me from the shadows. I needed to escape. I turned around, scanning the darkness for any sign of a way out. The walls felt closer now, and the air grew thick with despair. Just then, I saw a flicker of light in the distance, and I stumbled toward it, hope sparking within me. As I moved closer, I could hear a faint sound, a rhythmic thumping, like a heartbeat. My heart raced in response, echoing the beats of the sound. The light grew brighter, illuminating the space around me. I pushed forward, driven by a desperate need to escape. But as I reached the light, my heart sank. It was a door, but it was covered in chains and locks. I pounded on the door, panic clawing at my throat. "Let me out! Please!" I screamed, but the sound only echoed back at me. Frustration turned to despair as I stepped back, my shoulders slumping in defeat. I felt the weight of the darkness closing in around me, suffocating me with its presence. Just then, I heard a voice, faint but familiar. "Help me!" "Ben?" I called, my heart leaping at the sound. "Where are you?" "Help," the voice whispered again, and I felt a surge of determination. I had to find him. I turned away from the door, scanning the darkness for any sign of where the voice was coming from. I stumbled through the shadows, following the sound of his voice. It grew louder with each step, drawing me closer. My heart raced as I moved deeper into the unknown, each step feeling like a descent into madness. Finally, I reached a corner, and there he was, standing at the edge of a precipice, his body outlined against the flickering light. Relief washed over me as I rushed toward him, but the moment I reached out, he vanished again, swallowed by the darkness. "No! Come back!" I cried, panic rising within me. The shadows shifted, swirling around me as I turned in circles, desperately searching for him. "Ben! Where are you?" The whispers grew louder, echoing through the space, drowning out my cries. I felt the darkness pressing in on me, suffocating me, and I fought against it. "I won't let you take me," I shouted, my voice filled with defiance. But the darkness only laughed, its whispers taunting me as I struggled against its grip. I felt myself sinking, the ground beneath me giving way. My legs faltered, and I fell to my knees, gasping for air as the shadows enveloped me. In that moment of despair, I realized I had to find a way to fight back. "Ben!" I shouted again, determination fueling my voice. "I'm coming for you." I forced myself to my feet, steeling my resolve as I faced the darkness. With newfound courage, I pressed forward, determined to uncover the secrets that lay hidden within this strange realm. I would find Ben, no matter what it took. I knew I had to confront whatever waited in the shadows, to face my fears head-on. As I moved deeper into the unknown, the whispers grew quieter, as if the darkness was retreating in the face of my determination. I felt the weight of fear lift slightly as I pressed on, my heart racing with the thrill of the unknown. I was not going to let fear control me. I was taking charge. The flickering light grew brighter again, and I followed it with renewed hope. The darkness began to thin, revealing the outlines of strange objects around me. I could see shadows moving in the corners of my vision, but I refused to look away. I had to keep moving forward. As I approached the light, I realized it was coming from an ancient-looking mirror, ornate and cracked, standing tall in the center of the room. I reached out to touch it, and the moment my fingers brushed against the surface, a surge of energy coursed through me. Images flashed before my eyes, memories of laughter, of time spent with Ben, of the dreams we shared. It was as if the mirror was reflecting not just my image, but also the bond we shared. "We'll get through this," I whispered, a vow to myself and to him. I stepped back, and the mirror shimmered in response. I felt a pull, a connection drawing me closer. I knew that if I could harness the energy within, I might be able to break free from this realm and rescue my friend. Gathering all my strength, I focused on the mirror, channeling my emotions into the glass. "Ben!" I shouted, desperation driving my voice. "I'm coming for you." The mirror glowed brighter, and I felt a rush of energy surge through me. I closed my eyes and envisioned the bond we shared, the friendship that had brought us here. I could feel the darkness retreating as the light enveloped me. With a final surge of determination, I stepped through the mirror, the world around me dissolving into a kaleidoscope of colors. I was weightless, suspended in a moment of time, and then I found myself standing in the familiar surroundings of the basement. I blinked in disbelief, the room around me now illuminated by a soft glow. I could see Ben standing just a few feet away, his expression one of confusion and relief. "You found me," he exclaimed, his voice filled with joy. I rushed toward him, relief flooding my veins as I pulled him into a tight embrace. "I thought I lost you," I said, my voice trembling with emotion. Ben pulled back, his eyes wide. "What happened?" It was like we were in a different world. "I don't know," I admitted, my heart racing. "But we have to get out of here." Together, we retraced our steps through the basement, the weight of our adventure lingering in the air. As we reached the staircase, we noticed that it was now clear, the darkness no longer holding its grip over us. We hurried up the stairs, our hearts racing as we pushed open the door to the outside world. The cool night air washed over us, a welcome relief after the suffocating darkness we had just escaped. As we stood outside, taking in the sight of the old building, I felt a sense of accomplishment. We had faced our fears, confronted the unknown, and emerged stronger. "We did it!" I exclaimed, laughter bubbling up within me. Ben grinned, his eyes shining with excitement. "We're not going to let anyone tell us this place is haunted anymore, right?" I shook my head, still riding the high of our adventure. "No way! We've uncovered its secrets." We mounted our bikes, a renewed sense of camaraderie between us as we rode back down the hill. The town lay before us, a tapestry of lights flickering in the distance. As we pedaled away, I felt a bond with my friend that would last a lifetime. Little did we know that our adventure was only the beginning. The old building and its hidden secrets would forever hold a place in our hearts, a reminder of the power of friendship and the courage to face the unknown. The thrill of exploration would draw us back again and again, each time uncovering new mysteries waiting to be unraveled. But for now, we were just two friends on bikes, racing home under the stars, laughter echoing through the quiet streets. And in that moment, everything felt right in the world.